So why the hell would a fella shoot a video just to talk about lunch? I will tell you why, because after working with folks in their 40s and 50s for 16 years now, I know that our choices at lunch have a direct effect on A, our ability to be remotely productive in the afternoon at work, but possibly more importantly, B, our ability to stay slim and hot as we get older. Breakfast and dinner get all the eyeballs online. People love to make those fancy, but lunch just kind of happens, doesn't it? You grab whatever's around you in your kitchen in the mornings and then you eat it at your desk between meetings, or you maybe skip it entirely because the morning gets away from you, or you find yourself standing in front of a meal deal in the shop or a food truck at 1:30 p.m, absolutely ravenous, making decisions that you would not make on a full stomach. But it does affect our energy level, our mood, and our productivity for the entire afternoon. And like I said, it has a direct knock-on effect on what we then eat for the rest of the day and whether we stay on track with maintaining our weight or losing a bit of weight, if that is a goal for you. We do not want to destroy all the solid good work that we've done at breakfast that morning. So lunch is essentially our hinge point for us now, and we need to get it right. So what I want to explain here is what happens when we get lunch wrong, how we can get it right, so we can lose a bit of weight if we want, plus some genuinely nice, decent lunch options for folks our age who have busy lives. So let's jump in. And by the way, you can find my Make It Stick system in the link in the description. It's a free course all about how to build healthy habits on autopilot as we get older. After 40, our bodies are generally less forgiving of the decisions that we make at lunchtime than they used to be. And the knock-on effects run further into the day than we realize. But getting it right doesn't require that much, just a bit of forward planning and knowing what to actually try and do when you're having your lunch. But at the minute, when we get lunch wrong, it happens in two ways, but has the same outcome. So the first way we can balls up lunch is by skipping it completely. So obviously life in our 40s and 50s can be fairly hectic. Maybe you're up early with kids, or your morning just fills up a lot faster than you planned, and you have back-to-back Zoom or Teams calls. Suddenly it's 2 p.m. and you haven't eaten a thing since you had a piece of toast at breakfast. By that point, your blood sugar has dropped, your body is in mild stress mode. And when you do finally eat something late in the afternoon or early evening, you'll often eat far too much, far too fast, and probably not make the best choices doing it. You just want food in your belly right now, please, thank you very much. Your calorie intake steadily climbs as you kind of spiral a wee bit, grabbing this and that from your kitchen. But then the second way we can balls up lunch is having a lunch that's simply far too heavy and calorific because you felt justified eating a lot because you were starving or because it was just easier to grab something from somewhere nearby. A big meal for lunch that's high in refined carbohydrates, low in protein and fiber, and heavy on sauces and stuff like that with lots of processed ingredients. That means you do get a brief energy lift, but then about an hour later you crash and you're like a zombie at work by 3 p.m. as the blood sugar response affects your concentration and your mood and your motivation really for the rest of the afternoon. And that's when it triggers this all or nothing thinking around your later food choices. You had this big unhealthy lunch that wasn't planned. So in your head, the day is a write-off, it's ruined. You've already blown your good intentions. So you think, well, I may as well go for it this evening with the biscuits that someone's left in the office, and then you'll have a bigger, more junk dense dinner, and then you'll start again tomorrow with being good. That thinking is probably responsible for more weight gain than any other single thing that I see with coaching clients, to be honest. But I know that telling someone with a full-time job and kids and a schedule that runs from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. probably to just eat a nice healthy lunch is not particularly useful advice, is it? It doesn't help you to solve the problem. And I know from trying to get my 3 teenagers out the door in the mornings that things are generally chaotic for a lot of people around our age, and lunch is very much an afterthought. You'll figure it out later, you'll find something. So any solution for lunch has to work in your real world, not some magical perfect land, some aspirational version of your life where you suddenly have the time to prepare things thoughtfully and then sit somewhere nice and calm and eat them. The good news is though that a genuinely good, healthy, tasty lunch doesn't require much time or effort. It just needs to hit 2 things consistently. It needs to have enough protein to keep you full and support muscle mass, muscle retention, or muscle building if that's a goal. and also needs to have enough fiber to slow digestion and keep your blood sugar stable through the afternoon. So those two things together, protein and fiber, are what prevent the energy and mood dips and that all or nothing spiral that I mentioned. So let's briefly look at what a good lunch actually looks like. I am not a chef, I am a decent cook, but these are some good ideas. If you're taking food to work, here's 4 options that consistently work well for people our age trying to stay on track without necessarily making lunch some big fancy project. A big salad built around protein is probably the easiest. And by big, I mean actually filling things like avocado, decent portion of chicken or tuna, eggs, and whatever protein you like. Some chickpeas, some lentils for fiber too. Olive oil dressing rather than some super creamy with loads of cheese. That takes 5 minutes to throw together the night before if you have the ingredients in your fridge. Then you can have like a burrito style wrap with a protein salad, maybe a bit of rice or beans. That's filling. That's easy to eat on the go too, and it keeps you full well into the afternoon without that blood sugar spike that you'd get from something more processed. Then a bits and pieces type of meat, a deli plate or a bento box style thing. So just a bit of meat or fish, some raw vegetables, some hummus, maybe a boiled egg, a few olives, crackers, a wee bit of cheese. There's no cooking, there's no real preparation either. It's just having those things in your fridge or cupboards ready to grab and assemble. And then finally, a good option is just dinner leftovers if you can reheat them at work. They're generally one of the best options. That's what I often eat. I intentionally make a bit too much for dinner the night before, and then they're great because you already know what is in them, and they tend to be a bit more balanced than anything that you grab on the go at work. Now, if you're eating out at work, it doesn't need to be complicated either, like a lean burger without cheese or creamy dressings, or a similar type of sandwich with a decent protein filling in it. Or most restaurants now have salad or some sort of bowl option that's a bit more full of fiber and protein. That's what you're looking for there. I suppose the things to avoid are heavy creamy sauces and massive portions of refined carbs with very little protein. Sometimes the sides that you get when you're out are small, but they do add up very quickly in terms of calories. So I'm not saying lunch has to be perfect every day and be a priority on your already massive to-do list. It just needs to not work against what you're trying to do. If you're trying to control your weight or lose weight, you definitely need something for lunch with enough protein and fiber to carry you through to dinner without having to snack on things at the office or getting that energy crash that you maybe get, or triggering that all or nothing thinking that causes you to eat like a madman or woman for the rest of the day. And a lot of it comes down to just a wee bit of planning. Plan your week right, have the right stuff in your kitchen, and build the right habits. Speaking of which, you will find that Make It Stick system in the link in the description. That will be a huge help in building these healthy habits into your life. But I hope that this has helped you understand why lunch is very much the most important meal to get right as we get older if we're trying to look and feel great. I'll chat soon though. Take care.